Let me start. Now I'm going to be talking or going through the practical session, the practical part of this event. And I'm going to especially be talking about how Chat GPT can maybe improve your productivity in the office. And yeah, so first I'm going to start with who am I? Well, of course, my name is Luque Leon, and I actually just finished university like 1 month ago here at the Tower in IE. And well, ever since almost Chat GPT came out, I've used it almost every day, maybe for university, for personal life. So I've amounted almost 400 hours. And I've really been able to grasp the potential it has. And with each new update, being informed of, well, the new updates and the potential it has. I also have founded an AI startup called Reviply. And finally, I also give workshops to students and universities on how to be more productive. So this is the following way I'm going to structure this session. I'm going to talk a bit about the new changes that have been coming into ChatGPT. Maybe most of you have heard about ChatGPT 4.0. Also, I'm going to be talking about which chatbot is more suitable for you. Maybe it's Gemini, maybe it's ChatGPT. We'll see into that. The power of ChatGPT when it comes to Excel formulas, ChatGPT in Google Sheets, and finally, a really powerful AI tool that can retrieve information from the internet. So, starting. In the last ChatGPT update, in their last developer day, they've actually released a new UI, a new user interface for ChatGPT, where you can actually download it as an app in your computer. And it has many more capabilities, and it's just generally better. Okay, so first of all, well, let me just make this a little bit bigger. As you can see, maybe some of you are not aware. I'm not sure if everyone is able to download this app. I think it's only for certain users. I think you have to be a paying user. But as you can see, the UI is much more friendly, and it does have some things that make your life easier. First of all, let me see if this works, because with a microphone, maybe it doesn't work. Okay, so as you can see down here on the bottom, I can, instead of writing all the text, because it becomes very annoying to write everything, because usually the prompts are very long. Whenever, like the longer the prompt, the better generally when it comes to ChatGPT. So you can simply use this function, and as you can see, ChatGPT will get what you're saying and write it down into text, right? So this makes really my life, at least it does make my life much more easier. There's also a function that was before, and that you can only access it on your phone, which is basically talking to ChatGPT. That's also available in the app. So it's as simple as pressing here. And well, here I can simply talk to ChatGPT and it will respond something. Let's see what it says. Okay. Well, you understand it. So that's two new things that is very, very useful. More things. Also, they've mentioned in their last developer day that ChatGPT 4.0, its newest version, is going to be free, but the message cap is going to be very limited. So maybe if some of you only use ChatGPT a couple times per month, maybe you don't even have to start paying. And also, for those that don't know ChatGPT 4.0, it's better than the previous ChatGPT Turbo, but what some people misunderstand is that it's not that much intelligent, but rather it gives the responses much more quicker. That's why it's better, right? So here, for example, we can go and we can choose from ChatGPT 4.0, which is the new one, ChatGPT 4, and GPT 3.5 that it's basically not useful anymore, right? So now moving on. There's many people that ask, and you always see in the news, there's this new AI that's beating ChatGPT. There's this new LLM that is being more powerful than ChatGPT. And I've discovered a website that's very useful that basically ranks all the large language models in order for you to be able to see which one is better. Okay, so the website, let me just make this a bit bigger, is called LMSYS, Chatbot Arena Leaderboard. And very simply, what it does is it ranks all the LLMs. So as you can see right now, GPT 4.0 is the chatbot that is the most useful. and according to the RENA ELO. So this is basically, it undergoes some tests and then they rank them. And so maybe for you, it's more useful that the cutoff knowledge is later. So here you can also be informed of when the cutoff knowledge is. And finally, you can also categorize it by things that you are mostly more specified in. So for example, in coding, ChatGPT 4.0 is still the leader. I'm sorry, Google, but this is just true. And but for example, when we go to Japanese, where's Japanese? Here, we can observe that Gemini is first by only a matter of some little points, but still, you know, maybe for the future, whenever you see a news or about something, just go into this page, and this is where you'll get the most accurate information. Now, so I said at the beginning that I'm going to be teaching or showing how to be more productive in the office. And in the office, one of the tools that is used the most is Excel or Google Sheets, right? So that's what I'm going to be diving right in now. So let me just make this big so everyone can see. Okay, so let me just talk a bit. What I've discovered that's very useful when it comes to ChatGPT and Google Sheets is the fact that there's two things. The first, ChatGPT, of course, knows everything about Google Sheets, knows all about the formulas, and therefore, it's not necessary anymore to be a very great expert in Google Sheets. What do I mean by this? I, for example, as I stated at the beginning, I'm working on my startup, an AI startup, and, for example, I have a list of emails for me to do an email marketing. But as you can see here at the beginning, all the names are together, okay? So what do I want to do? I want to separate them. I personally do know how to use Excel, but I'm not very good with formulas. I don't know every formula. Maybe I know if functions, but I can't dive very deep into this. So what do? I leverage ChatGPT that knows everything about Google and, about Google Sheets, and I make ChatGPT help me create a formula, which is what we're going to do right now. So let's go back to, let's organize. Let's go back here to ChatGPT. Let's create a new tab. And I want to say, I am going to give you a screenshot of a Google Sheet. As you can see in the first column, there are the full names. And I want to separate the first and last name in columns B and C. So this is very simple. Also, good thing about the new user interface, you can simply just take a screenshot and paste it. And ChatGPT, this is a problem actually that happens, is that ChatGPT sometimes closes. But let me just go back quickly. Let me just write it. Actually, let me use the new function. So I have an Google Sheet, and in the first column, I have the full name of people, and I want you to create a formula for me that separates the first name from the last name. And I want this in columns B and C. Okay, perfect. Let's see if this time it works. Sometimes it crashes. I don't know why when you upload pictures. So now it's okay. And hopefully now it gives me the formulas that I have to put in the column B and C. So as I said before, me personally, here, for example, it gave me the formula. Me personally, I want to believe that I do know how to use Excel, but I do not have the expertise to create these types of formulas. So it's as simple as pasting it here. And as you can see, it has directly identified the first number, the first word, and separate it. And if we just go back and copy the other formula that it's given to us, it has directly also identified the second name and done that. So as you can see, knowing a lot about ChatGPT really does help expand your knowledge in almost everything, right? So it has really saved lots of time, and hopefully you could also explain to ChatGPT a problem that you want to solve in Google Sheets. Now, moving on to the second part of ChatGPT in Google Sheets is the fact that now, thanks to an extension called GPT for Sheets, you can actually have ChatGPT within Google Sheets and also give prompts without having to access normal Chat GPT. So let me give you some examples. Let me close this. Now, standardized names. Maybe you have a list of names which are not correctly formatted. For example, in Spain, you have things called tildes. So maybe some languages don't process the tildes correctly, and they put a weird character. So something that you can do is standardize the names. And in this case, we have this specific formula, thanks to the extension, that very basically, let me explain. What's highlighted in yellow, I'm giving the problem and what I want to come out. And finally, here I simply explain, hey, I want you to do what I've done up here, down here, right? So I simply wait a bit because, of course, it's sending the the question to the API and receiving the answer. And as you can see, it has identified the names from this list that was dirty and has made them clean. And this can also be done with when it comes to dates. So as you can see here, I can make it so that ChatGPT transforms this date into the standard form called ISO. So it can change it from all types of dates. From this one, well, as you can see, this really does help and can really save so much time. And yeah, just as you can see, the power of knowing how to combine GPT and Excel really does help. Also, it may be the case where you have a cell where you have maybe the name, the phone number, the email of a customer, and you only want to extract maybe the email, right? Well, it's that simple as using this specific formula, which extracts, as you can see from this cell, the email, okay? And it's as simple as pressing enter, and it extracts the email, right? So this is very simple. I could do it for every single one of them, as you can see. Or if I, for example, want to extract, let's say, phone number, let's put here phone number. It's as simple as doing that, and it will extract the phone number of each specific user, right? Very useful. Here in this case, it hasn't identified anything because it hasn't identified any phone number. And finally, also something very useful, it can classify, in this case, reviews well, when it comes to sentiment. So let's say, for example, here is an example of a review for I think is a hair salon. So in this case, I'm telling ChatGPT to classify this review in either very positive, neutral, negative, or very negative. So in this case, it says that the hairdresser was very skilled and attentive. So it gave me very positive. And now if I simply scroll this down, here, for example, it says average at best. So maybe it's negative. Incredibly happy says that it's positive, and vice versa with incredibly disappointed. In this case, I've only shown 4 different formulas, but as you'll be able to see here, this extension called, again, GPT for Sheets has maybe, I think, 20 or something formulas. So here, if we go here, list of functions, it gives you a whole list of functions that you can use, and if you're interested in one, it gives you an example, and here also it gives you a video, so it's really very useful. And now finally, I said that I was going to explain an AI tool that I found very useful, especially because probably when you finish university and you start work, well, usually you get a job as an analyst and you're handling lots of information, and very probably you're doing very repetitive tasks. So something that I've identified, an AI tool, it's called Browse AI, and it basically helps you scrape all kinds of data from the internet. So let me do a demonstration. Here we have well, what's called the interface, right? And they call it a robot, right? And so what you can do is extract from a website either structured data, or let's say, for example, you're a hotel and you want to check if your competitors change the price. Well, you can also monitor changes in the site, right? Very useful. So you can either build a robot from zero. It's very simple. You can here you would simply paste a URL, and select the list of data that you want to select. But in my case, in order to make things quicker, I'm just going to browse the default or the preset, the pre-built, robots that Browse AI offers in order to show it for a demonstration. So in this case, there may be some of you that found this event through Eventbrite. So let's say that, I don't know, let's say I want to attend AI events in Madrid, and I want a structured Excel where I can see all the names of all the events, and well, from there I can take a decision, right? So I could do two things. I could either go to Eventbrite and manually search. For example, here, let's take into account, I could either go into Eventbrite, write AI, and if I wanted a specific Excel, well, I'd have to copy every title, paste it into an Excel, and etc. That just takes too long, right? So what's easier? We go into this pre-built robot. Very simple. Here it explains a little bit. You basically explain, use this automation. And here, let's just say I want to write AI events or AI Madrid. Let's just put. Let's say I want to scrape a list of, let's just keep it simple and let's just do 15 events. You simply press next steps and you start extracting. So now, basically what this AI is doing is going through, it's searching in Eventbrite, AI Madrid, and it's extracting the title and the link for every single event. In my case, I only put 15 because I only want 15 events, but you can even put 200, right? There is where this AI comes in handy. So this sometimes does take some time, right? So I've already done this. So if we go here, this is one that I've done previously because it usually does take around 3 minutes. And as you can see here, it gives me the list of the events in a CSV file. Here I can simply download it as a CSV file and open it with numbers. And as you can see, it has scraped the AI events in Madrid. So this could be useful. And as I said, I haven't used it specifically for this, but I have used it to scrape thousands of in my case, restaurants. And generally, those were the tools that I found really useful when it comes to improving your productivity. And well, hopefully, thanks to this little session, tomorrow you can go to work and be a little bit more productive thanks to Chat GPT. And from my part, that'll be all. Thank you very much.